Hi Cancer, welcome to Sweet Tea Astrology and Tarot. My name is Erica. Welcome to the channel. I'm so glad that you found me. This is your Venus retrograde report video. It's a special report that I'm putting out. Venus is going retrograde throughout the spring months of 2017, and this video is going to speak a little bit about the planet Venus, what retrograde means, and how we can utilize this energy to the best of our abilities. So, Venus, the planet of love, beauty, harmony, money, and resources, is going retrograde in the sign of Aries and she will tiptoe back into the sign of Pisces. Retrograde is an optical illusion in the sky. Venus will look like it is going backwards in the sky from our perspective here on Earth. It's an optical illusion, like I said. The best way that I've ever heard retrograde explained is through the analogy of driving on the interstate. Imagine you're driving on the interstate and you get behind someone who isn't moving fast enough for you, so you get in the passing lane and you accelerate. You get up to where you're at even pace with the person that you're trying to pass. You accelerate some more and you're able to get in front of them. After a while, when you look in the rearview mirror, it's going to look like that vehicle that you passed is going backwards. It's not. It's just the amount of distance you've put in between yourselves, and it presents as an optical illusion as that other vehicle going backwards. It's the same idea with the planets going retrograde. Let me grab a sip of water really quick. Because I am fighting with a persistent cough. There's been a lot of open burning being done in the area. And whenever that happens, it always aggravates my throat and my breathing passages. Sorry about that. So I did the car analogy for the Venus in retrograde. So we spoke about the planet, we spoke about retrograde. Now the houses. So Venus is actually in shadow right now, which means we're experiencing an appetizer of what this retrograde season might be bringing for us. Venus is in our 10th house right now. The 10th house is the house that's ruled by Capricorn. And I think of the 10th house like this. William Shakespeare said, all the world is a stage, and I see the 10th house as the stage that you approach the world on, and it's how the world knows you through your career, your status, your reputation, and your dealings with authority figures in your world, authority figures in your life, and authority figures in their expert fields, like a doctor, lawyer, or professor. The 10th house is also the house of destiny. Pardon me, y'all, I'm sorry. Venus is going to move into the 9th house, and this is the house that's ruled by Sagittarius, and it's the house of your worldview expanded through study or travel, and it deals with higher education, the study of foreign languages, foreign people. It also deals with foreign people, foreign places, and foreign things, but it deals with the study of philosophy, religions, astrology, legal system matters, and political matters. It's the house of long-distance trips, adventures, and questing. And this 9th house is also where we will be experiencing a solar eclipse in Pisces at the very end of February. So there's a lot of focus on this 9th house for you. Could be dealing with foreign people, foreign places, foreign things. That solar eclipse is going to be bringing the sparks of new life, new growth, new creative energy, new opportunities in that area. So, the things that we can do to navigate this energy the best way possible is for us to put a focus on ourselves. So any decisions that are being brought forward to you through these eclipses, through the eclipse season, or through this Venus retrograde, understand that at the root of all of it, you need to be concerned mostly of yourself. Everything else around you is subject to change. It's the reality of the situation. The challenges that will present themselves during this Venus retrograde will likely be associated to love and money. This can also be business partnerships, because that's a joint bank account kind of thing. There are perks that are associated with retrogrades, and with this retrograde, it is the possibility of reconnection or renegotiation in certain areas of life. And the best way to decide or determine the value that you put on things is to ask yourself, is this worth fighting for? If it is worth fighting for, roll your sleeves up and fight for it. If it is worth fighting for, or you realize now that it's worth fighting for, but you know there's going to be work, then put in the work so that you can fight for it. But if you realize that the situation is no longer worth fighting for, then release that situation or that person or that job or that whatever with loving, graceful energy, being thankful for the lessons and the growth that they brought you. Okay, Cancer. I think this will be the last video I'm shooting today because my coughing seems to be increasing. It is a little warm in the room as well. We broke a record yesterday in Louisiana. It was 85 degrees, February 7th. So, there's a cold front that will be coming through later on, but I'm just, between the heat of the room, the heat outside, and the open burning, I'm, a little aggravated. My throat's a little irritated. I feel like I'm probably speaking a little bit more huskily than normal, or, for those of you who watch me regularly can probably tell that my throat is a little aggravated. So, Cancer, I want to take this time to also remind you that there's a good chance that this may not resonate for some of you, and if that's the case, that's fine. Because you're not just a Cancer. You've got more than just Cancer in you. You've got a little bit of every piece of the zodiac in you, and you would find out where your planets and strongest energies lie if you were to generate a natal chart. And you can do that by Googling the words free natal chart. Have your birth certificate nearby so you can type in the accurate information so you can get an accurate representation of the sky and the planets where they were when you were born from your perspective on Earth. After you've generated that chart, you can look on YouTube or Google tutorials on how to find your moon and rising sign. If you've gone through all of those steps and you still can't figure it out, feel free to shoot me an email with a screenshot of that natal chart, and you can send that to sweetteastro@gmail.com, and I will get back to you as soon as possible with those placements. It's a free service that I provide because I feel it's something that everybody needs to know about themselves. Not just so you can watch videos like this, but also videos from other readers on YouTube. And it's a great means of using it for a psychological analysis of yourself. I have definitely used that as a tool for myself. Being a water sign, you may be able to tap into that as well. Pardon me, y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm going to go get a throat lozenge before I get back on screen, because I'm going to hit the pause button after I get finished pulling your cards to do the tarot math, and while I'm paused, I will get that lozenge. Or maybe some chloroseptic, I don't know. I'm going to pull a traditional 4-card spread where it's the bottom card for underlying theme or overarching energy and the top 3 for clarity. And like I said in the introduction, I modified my card deck for this reading where it's only the major arcana and the aces of each of the suits for the deck. So that would be Cups, Wands, Pentacles, and Cups, Wands, Pentacles. I'm forgetting one. Swords. There we go. It was bothering me. I was like, come on, Erica. This deck is from the Sage Goddess Gemstone Oracle. This deck is from the Divine Circus Oracle by Elena Fairchild. And I just realized I didn't show you all the decks, or the deck boxes, so I will after I get finished pulling the cards. It's hard to remember what you do sometimes after video after video after video. This is the Journey of Love Oracle deck by Elena Fairchild. The artwork for this deck is from an artist named Razuli. And finally, from the Butterfly Oracle deck for Life Choices by Doreen Virtue. Okay, you had a card pop, so we'll go with that. Now, I pulled a card from the Sage Goddess Gemstone Oracle deck. I also pulled a card from the Butterfly Oracle card for Life Changes by Doreen Virtue. Then I pulled one from the Divine Circus Oracle by Elena Fairchild. She commissioned many different artists for the different cards artwork. And finally, the Journey of Love deck box, because I totally did a fail and didn't show them to you before I started drawing the cards. So, what I'm going to do now is hit the pause button, grab some tea or something for my throat so I won't cough all the way through your reading, and do the tarot math as well, and I'll be right back with your story, y'all. Hang tight. Hi Cancer, I'm back with your cards, so let's get started. The underlying theme or overarching energy for this spread is the Chariot card. This is the 7th card of the Major Arcana. The 7 speaks to the 7th house that's ruled by Libra. This is the house that dominates your partnerships and your relationships and how you identify who you are as an individual, as a human being, through those interactions with those relationships and partnerships. It also speaks to counseling and open enemies. The Chariot card is traditionally seen as a card of tradition representative of the zodiac sign of Cancer, which is you. It deals with achievement through effort or self-mastery, and it indicates also the ability to take charge of the situation and keep the cart on the road. Now, I see the Chariot also as a Gemini card, and I say that because Gemini rules the 3rd house, which deals with short-distance trips and your vehicle. The Chariot was at one point a means for getting around from point A to point B. But it's not just Gemini that I see in this card. I see it as the cards that have the 2 signs to them, or the duplicitous, always trying to find balance. And what I mean by that is Gemini having the twins, Libra having the scales, and Pisces having the 2 fish. Seventh house, partnerships, could be a Libra, could be a Gemini, might be just speaking about you, Cancer, or it could be dealing with a Pisces. Now, the first card that represents the past, if you need a time frame, is the Devil card in reverse. The Devil card is just a card. It's a picture on a card. Don't freak out. It's the 15th card of the Major Arcana. 1 plus 5 is 6. And that speaks to the Virgo-ruled house of your work and health, or the competency and skills that you bring to the services that you provide. It also speaks to your daily life, your daily to-do list, and what you do on a daily basis to make your life more efficient and easier for you to live. Okay, this card is representative of the zodiac sign of Capricorn. Capricorn is in, or Capricorn is hosting Pluto. Pluto is transiting through Capricorn right now, and that is your 7th house, and that is where the Chariot is. Interesting how that works out, huh? This Devil card is representative of being persistent and very serious and practical and very ambitious, but also can take themselves too seriously. This is confronting one's self-imposed limitations or addictions. The fact that it's in the reverse, it could be that your past addictions could be coming back to haunt you. It could send your world upside down. You do also have Saturn transiting that 6th house. Saturn is the planet that represents limitation, structure, and containment. Could be that you're having a difficult time with work or your health. If you're having issues with your health, it may be that you're possibly dealing with issues in your bones or your internal structures, your internal, the things that you should be doing on a daily basis that you may or may not be doing to make your health better or worse. The card in the middle that represents, if you need a time frame, the present, is the 4th card of the Major Arcana. This is the Emperor card. The 4 speaks to that house that you rule on the astrological wheel, the 4th house. The house of home and family, or roots and foundations. Could be home is where you live or where you consider home to be. And family is who you share that home with. That's your parents, your partner, your spouse, your children, your fur babies, your house guests, your housemates, and your roommates. Roots or foundations. Your internal roots would be your bones or your teeth. That would also classify as your internal structure. And your internal foundation would be like your philosophy or your deeply held beliefs. Externally, when we're talking about the house, it could be the pipes or the studs in the internal parts of your home. Externally, it could be the foundation or roots in your backyard, or just people or things that make you reminiscent of your roots and where you came from. This card in itself is representative of the sign of Aries, and Aries is hosting this Venus retrograde that we will be dealing with throughout the entirety of the spring months, pretty much. This card represents initiation and it's also it's a forceful, it's a very dynamic card. It's very much about the masculine principle and owning your own power and being ambitious when you need to and making those moves when you need to, but also taking responsibility as well. Could be dealing with an older male in your family, dealing with patriarchal issues. You have Jupiter transiting through your 4th house, and that is the house of Cancer. And we've had now Jupiter is in Libra. Libra rules the 7th house. We've talked about 7. Yeah, there's a lot of synchronicity through here. I feel like this is representative of the boss or an authoritative figure in your world in some way. If it's not your boss, then most likely your father or possibly your male partner, the more masculine partner, is the focus right now. The future energy, the third card, future, if you need a time frame, is the 20th card of the major arcana, the Judgment card. 2 plus 0 is 2, and that speaks to the Taurus ruled house of your money, values, earning ability, self-esteem. And it's the house of mind. It's the house of your possessions, the things that you want to keep close to you, the things that you care about where they're at, down to the last dime or where your children, lovers, or favorite shirt is. Anything you could point to, classify, or identify as mine or introduce as mine would fall under that second house umbrella, in my opinion. The Judgment card represents Pluto, which is going through that 7th house of partnerships, relationships, and identifying who you are as another person through those interactions. It's also counseling and open enemies. Could be that you're feeling very judged in certain situations, possibly in work or by your health. Or you may be feeling judged by like healthcare professionals and you're not wanting to speak up about things that you may be dealing with. It may be that you aren't taking care of yourself, you're not following the dietary restrictions that you may have been put on, and you don't want to be judged by the doctor, or you don't want to be judged by the medical staff. And it still looks like you may feel judged, or you may be dealing with the evaluation, summing up, resolution, or ending of a situation. And that actually makes perfect sense because you've got that lunar eclipse at 22 degrees of Leo in your second house. And that's the house of mind that I just got finished talking about. There could be some sort of judgment going on in that second house. It could be a judgment about how you're dealing with your finances, or it could be a judgment about how your partner is dealing with finances, really. It depends on how it's playing out in your personal chart. This is a general reading, like I said. Now, I did the tarot math for you, and the overall, it ended up being 46. 4 plus 6 is 10, and that speaks to that Capricorn, the Capricorn card. Capricorn ruled house of your career, status, and reputation. It's that house that William Shakespeare said, all the world is a stage. It's the stage that you approach the world on and how the world knows you. Venus is retrograding through that sign, through that house. I apologize. So you will be reestablishing and reevaluating what you value, what you love, and what's worth fighting for and what's not throughout that 10th house. And that is the underlying theme of what is going on through this reading for you, Cancer. Now, let's move on to the Oracle cards. The card that I pulled for you out of the Sage Goddess Gemstone Oracle deck is the Labradorite card, and it deals with new beginnings and creativity. If you have any new beginnings, it'll be in that 9th house of your higher education or long-distance trips, your worldview expanded through study or travel. But new beginnings and creativity. This can help heal or amplify the vibrations of your third eye and crown chakra. It reads, Labradorite is the stone of the dark moon. It draws down the energy of the night, the mysteries of the universe, and the depth of your soul, promoting creativity and facilitating new beginnings. You've pulled this card because you are summoned to take the helm of a new project or intention. Meditate with Labradorite to manifest your bold new intentions, bring new creations to life, and harness the power of moon magic. From the Journey of Love Oracle card deck that I pulled for you, this is the 53rd card of that deck. It reads Legacy of Light. And for those of you who are fans of the channel, you know that I read from another Oracle deck of Elena Fairchild's, and it is called the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck, and there is a card called Legacy of Light in there. So, I should have went and got that deck, but I didn't. I didn't think about it. But 5 plus 3 is 8. That speaks to the Scorpio ruled house of life, death, and rebirth. Instincts, primal, basic, or human. Your sexuality, other people's money, transformation, metamorphosis, and regeneration. This card indicates that you are a light bearer and that you are part of a spiritual lineage that's called to bear and carry forth a legacy of wisdom and service. You may be connecting to a powerful source of spiritual guidance, or you may be undergoing a lesson to encourage your personal growth so that your story or your path is inspiring to others around you or to other souls that hear your story, inspiring them to possibly evolve to higher heights. Also, any relationship issues that arise now indicate a need not only for personal healing, but that of your emotional legacy as well. So embrace karmic grace that appears in your life at this time. From the Divine Circus Oracle deck by Elena Fairchild, this is the 36th card of that deck. It is Pixie Pierrot. 3 plus 6 is 9, and that is that 9th house where you're having the solar eclipse in Pisces at the end of February, and also where Venus will be retrograding into Pisces throughout these spring months. This card indicates that there is more to life than mere surviving it. You were created to thrive in this life. Now is a time to reclaim any dormant or latent talents that you have or possess within you. If you can't remember or don't know what I'm talking about, then look into your past and reflect on what made you feel most alive. Whatever it was that you thought of, that's it. You are you for a specific reason, not by chance or by error. So love yourself. Let yourself live, thrive, embrace, and express the genius in you. The final card that I pulled for you from the Butterfly Oracle for Life Changes by Doreen Virtue is Relationship Dynamics. And this card indicates that there could be changes that you are experiencing in one or more of your personal relationships. And that can be with your family, or your friends, or your romantic partner, co-workers. The theme of the energy really is growing apart. And it's nobody's fault when people grow apart. But understand that if you aren't growing together, you are growing apart. You may be feeling more sensitive than your partner, and this could be a big issue between you. Recognize that it's hard to be part of a partnership when you are awake and your partner is not. And you can take that however you want to, Cancer. You've got a lot going on looking at your values. With Venus dancing in the 10th house, the 9th house, and these eclipses in your 2nd and 9th house. It's reassessing. It's shining light on certain areas, changing your perspective in others, and making you ask yourself, what is worth fighting for? And hopefully, Cancer, you are able to identify what is worth fighting for so you can devote your energy to it. And what is no longer worth fighting for, you can release with grateful, loving energy. I know it's hard. So that's what's going on for you for this Venus retrograde, Cancer. It looks like there's going to be some relationship issues showing up for you. Highlighted between money, big ideas, and career and reputation. I hope you're well, Cancer. Understand that the eclipses are going to make you sensitive, especially the lunar eclipse, because the moon is your ruling luminary. So, employ your self-care measures at around the eclipse time. Lunar eclipse will be early February, so if you're watching this as soon as it's released, within a few days of the release of this video, actually you should probably already be feeling the energy starting to well in you. It's the way it goes, y'all. It's your ruling luminary. You're going to feel everything that it goes through. I hope you're well. I hope you take care of yourself. And I hope that you're kind to yourself, Cancer. Please be kind to others around you, because we're all going through private things in our world some of us may never speak about to another living soul. Remember to love yourself and put yourself first during this retrograde season. Give yourself an opportunity to re-examine and assess the things that are worth your time, love, devotion, and energy. I'll see you for the March videos. I can't even believe I'm saying that right now. I'll see you soon for the March videos, but I've got to finish this series first. Take care, Cancer. Love yourself. I'll see you soon. Bye.